Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
We're rolling. We're back.
We're rolling.
Anthony and Lionheart Smith. I'm fresh from Paris. You're fresh from Salt Lake.
From Salt Lake City.
Where all the action went down Saturday night. We're going to get into all of that. How you been, Anthony? It feels like, even though I saw you in Paris, it feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, I've been good. I've been, we picked up the training. So that's been, excuse me, that's been great. Yeah, just getting back in the flow. I had some good sessions with Dean over the weekend. It was good.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, exciting times coming up, man. Obviously, I was in Paris for 12 days. So we didn't do a show. So apologies, but no man alive should be recording content and doing podcasts.
Right.
When you're trying to show your wife a good time in Paris. Speaking of which, she brought me a cup of tea. Thank you very much. We never spoke about Paris. I guess we'll talk about that at the end of the show because we've got more pressing stuff to talk about. I did get robbed. Well, Rebecca got robbed in Paris, though.
I love you like, he didn't rob me.
He didn't rob me. No, we're sitting in this little cafe and I got a coffee and it was piping hot. And I let my coffee a little cooler. So I go inside to get some ice to cool it down. I walk out. Rebecca says, that guy's just stole my handbag. I said, what? She said, I think that guy's just stole my handbag. And I look around, there's about 50 guys. It's a busy place. And she says, him. So I run at him. And she's like, I think it was him because she knows I'm going to go in hard. You know what I mean? And this guy's just holding a towel. And I grab hold of him by the scruff of his neck. And straight away, wrapped up in the towel, the bag drops to the floor. Which is pretty smart if you're going to rob people because you just instantly wrap it up. Right,
and you can't see it right away.
And you can't see it, yeah. Anyway, I've got him by the neck and I wave my fist and he's like, merci, 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 please, please, please. Anyway, I wasn't going to lower myself to doing anything, punch the guy.
You're a much bigger man than me.
Would you have punched him?
For sure.
You would have given him a left hook Larry.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I got a real strong left hand. And a real weak right one. So I'd have given him the old, I'd give him the right, because I've been holding on to him with the left.
Give him a righty-tighty.
That old piece of shit in me would just come out. I would just flip a switch and freak out.
But it was a really touristy area called Montmartre. Nice families, children, stuff like that. We'd got the bag. I didn't want to expose all these nice families to violence. Plus, punch the guy. He goes down, cracks his head on the ground, dies. Next minute, I'm locked up having a baguette in a French prison.
Look at you being a deep thinker. I would have never thought that far ahead. I'd just been like freaking out.
Bro, I've learned from my mistakes, but I'll tell you what I did do. I let him go, but I give him a right good kick up the ass.
Kicked him right in the ass.
I pumped him like a field goal right up his ass. I'm telling you, the next day his ass was
he just run away?
Killed. Yeah, no, he did. He scurried off like the piece of shit that he is. Anyway,
that's crazy. At least he didn't steal anything out of it.
He got nothing out of it. No, it would have been a nightmare if they did because there was a lot of like ID and all kinds of stuff. But so that was that. Then we got rear-ended in an Uber. Obviously, a man recovering from neck surgery. That was perfect. I was in agony for about 5 days. This trip
could have cost you a fortune.
Well, I was like, could you sue Uber?
Yeah, maybe.
I never signed a waiver saying that if somebody rear ends me, but then Rebecca was like, "It's probably in the terms of agreement when you sign."
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. There's probably a clause at the bottom, like, and if you get into a car accident, you're liable for yourself and yourself only.
The first thing that I thought, because I felt like a stabbing pain in my back, and then it radiated up my neck, and I was in agony. And the guy jumped out, obviously, to see what was going on, and I'm like, oh, my neck. And she's like, are you okay? I said, yeah. I said, hey. Straight away, I'm like, I'm going to sue Uber. And then I looked, and I'm on camera.
Oh, no.
I'm thinking the lawsuit wouldn't be, it wouldn't work anyway. Anyway, we're back. So are you. We are back. The boys are back there in the background. Salt Lake City, you were there. Boots on the ground. How was the event, brother?
As Salt Lake City always is, it's fire. So the Salt Lake City fans are insane. They're just really educated. They're really into the fights. It's a big sports town anyways with the basketball team. And I think they got a hockey team too. The the food culture in Salt Lake City, the food's really good. The people are cool. That celebrities, for whatever reason, like to come out to Salt Lake City to the fights there too. I think some of that's probably the Salt Lake City always has really good fight cards. And the fights were pretty good. I mean, all the way through the night, there wasn't any real bad fights. The judges took the night off, apparently. I think there were some weird, questionable decisions, which is not on. I kind of went off on the post show, and I hope that it didn't come off to the fighters like I was coming at them, because they're just doing their jobs and fighting to the best of their ability, and that has nothing to do with them. They're not at fault at all. But thought that was a little weird. And Alex Pereira puts on another absolute banger.
Well, let's just talk about the judges real quick. I was on a plane traveling back, so I missed most of the prelims, but I caught Wonderboy and Buckley, and then obviously the main card. But I did see a lot of griping online. I was following along on Twitter and stuff like that. And then I did a review show for TNT Sports yesterday, and they were talking about the judging. And I said, same thing, I never saw most of the prelims, but it's such a shame that we've just got used to this in this sport. It's just become a norm. You know what I mean? That judges get it wrong and we just accept it. You know, when these fighters are going out there, putting their life on the line, sacrificing so much, there's so many, you know, the consequences of winning and losing are massive. Certainly if it's a title fight, but if it's a number one contender matchup, or maybe you've been on a skid and you lose one, then you get cut, you know, not to mention, you know, the pride of winning, the win bonus. There's so many things, and we just accept now as a part of the sport that judges are gonna get it wrong, which is just insane.
And there was, just to clarify, there was some close fights that went the opposite direction of what I thought. I thought, oh man, I didn't think that maybe Tisha Pennington won that fight. I didn't think she did. It was one of those fights that was pretty close. It depends on what kind of, like, what you're looking for, I suppose. What things you favor over others. But I thought Carla Esparza did enough to win, but you know, I'm not going to like really cry too much about that one. There was another female fight that Jana Toba, that was a really close one. I thought went the wrong way, but then Jose Aldo, like, that's absolutely crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me and Dana went off on it on the press conference. I totally, absolutely disagreed with that decision. And I thought Raquel Pennington won that fight. I thought she lost rounds 2 and 3, or no. Yeah, I thought she lost rounds 2 and 3, and I thought she won 1, 4, and 5. I really did.
I agree with you there. A buddy of mine was there with Carla Esparza. He's a good friend of hers, and he texted me saying he thought that she won. I said, you know, I didn't see it, sadly. The Jose Aldo one, it's an interesting one. Because there was a lot of takedown attempts that resulted in no takedowns. And this always pisses me off. And I've always said this as a striker, of course, you know, when you're engaged up against a fence and a fighter's trying to take you down, the battle going on right there is one guy's trying to put you down to the ground and one guy is trying to keep the fight on the feet. If the fight stays on the feet, and let's say there's 45 seconds, let's say there's a minute, 90 seconds, whatever it is, for that period of time, I've won that battle because you were trying to take me down. But in the scoring criteria, that's not how they judge it. They don't judge a negative. Nothing happened. Well, he was controlling you then. So no, he wasn't controlling. Do you think the game plan was to push me up against the fence and hold me and do little tippy-tappy knees, or, you know what I mean, little rabbit shots like that to your body that don't hurt at all? He was trying to take me down. I think Jose Aldo should have been given the credit, but under the scoring criteria.
Well, if we're really going to dig into the scoring criteria, and this is what I told Dana, they say that wrestling isn't judged favorably. Like, you don't get points for a takedown because it's a change in position. What is clinching up against the cage? That's cage wrestling. It's just the exact same thing that's happening on the floor, but up against the fence. If that's how we're going to look at wrestling, it's a change in position, then nobody gets any benefit. There's no negatives or positives for anything that happens on the fence if there's no effective grappling or striking happening. We're not going to count a couple knees to the thighs as effective striking.
Nope.
So in my eyes, if I'm reading it correctly, then that's a 0 for everybody. So take all that cage wrestling out of it completely. Now look at the rest of the fight. Who won everything, every other part of that fight? It was very clearly Jose Aldo. So that's where I'm confused. If all that wrestling is a 0, then for anybody, then anything else that happened is what we're judging on, and that's Jose Aldo, and I don't think anyone can even question that.
That is a really good point, because as wild as that is, that's correct. Let's just say someone hits a beautiful takedown, a blast double, you shoot through the air, they take off, they land on the back, and you get on top. According to the criteria, which sadly we do have to go by, right? Because they're the rules in place. The stupid criteria says that that's just a change in position. I'm sorry. But you've just launched somebody through the air, landed them flat on the back. And just like I said about the dude in Paris, if that was in the streets and you slam a dude on his back, he's going to be winded as shit, might crack his head open, and whack, you can finish him off, right? That's not a change.
But if you land in guard or you land in a more of a neutral position, you control the posture, you don't take any big shots, it's a 0. That's a 0, which is crazy to me. But also, if we go back, then we're looking at wrestlers like, guys like, and this isn't a negative because I love John Fitch and I liked watching him fight. But then you got guys like John Fitch who take people down, necessarily doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but controls the fight. And people don't want to watch that either because people were winning that way. But I don't. And then one of the criteria is that remember we used to always complain, it wasn't that long ago actually, where we'd look at the stats and one guy significantly outstruck the other one. It could be 2-1. He lands more strikes, but the ones that the guy that didn't land as many, his shots were more impactful and did more damage. So we started complaining and saying, no, this guy landed double the strikes of this guy. How does he end up being the loser? And then what did the judges tell us? Well, damage is the number one criteria we look at. It's effective striking, not just the numbers. Okay, that's fair. If that's what we're doing, let's just keep it consistent. Well, if we look at Jose Aldo's face compared to Bautista's face, who won there on damage? So even if we give him a tiny edge because of the wrestling attempts, then we should give Jose Aldo an even more edge for the damage he was able to do when he was free. And then we can go and go and go, and maybe the referee should have split him up a little more. I think those are tough fights to be a referee for, because you got one guy who's clearly got a game plan. And if you start breaking them up more often, now it looks as if you're inserting yourself into the result of that fight.
Yeah, but the thing is, if the game plan is to try and take him down and all that's happening, the result of that game plan is ineffective. You are, as you said, no one's winning. The fans aren't winning. The people that are paying the tickets aren't winning. The people watching at home aren't winning. Dana White ain't winning. No one's winning. Everyone's sitting there scratching their head going, break up the goddamn fight, right? Because it's boring. But fair enough. You got to be allowed to try and improve your position. So the first time, give him a bit. Give him a bit to go. But when history shows that every time you hit the fence and it's just a 50-50, overhook, underhook, and you can't do anything with it, if it continues to go back there, break it up a bit quicker.
Because if they were on the ground, they'd stand them up.
Yeah.
And I don't see the
just
difference.
Go, break this up. Stop doing that, because you ain't going to take him down. Stop stalling the fight. Be a man and fight properly. And if you want to take him down, great. But if you can't take him down, we're going to break it up immediately.
Well, and I agreed with the Merab Dvalishvili decision in Salt Lake City versus Jose Aldo. The difference was nothing happened in the interim. So the only thing that essentially happened was Merab held Jose Aldo on the fence. Now, if we take that away, we have nothing to judge the rest of the fight on. Like, you get to a point where there's gotta be a winner. Like, someone has to win. So Jose was not anywhere close to as effective when he got to space with Merab as he was with Mario Bautista. So, and this isn't, I know he's so pissed. Because he's getting, everyone's kind of riding him about it. Like, this isn't towards you. It's not like, if he's watching this isn't towards you. You go in there, you got one of the hardest goddamn 135 pounders one of the best 145 pounders that's ever existed, and a goddamn monster who's crazy experienced, insane power. He's faster, he's better conditioned than he's ever been. I think he's better now than he's ever been. He's got a big task in front of him. So you do what you got to do to get a win. I'm not faulting him for that. That you do you, ignore what I'm saying. I'm talking to the judges. This isn't towards him.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I just wanted to clarify that when I said be a man and fight, I was talking about the hypothetical situations
right.
when they're constantly going up against the fence, and which there was a bit of that from Mario, but sure. I wasn't saying Mario be a man. I'm saying in those situations when you can't take him down.
Generally across the board.
Well, now you got to suck it up. Now you know what I mean?
Right.
Now you got to fight. Now you got to go for it. Anyway, that's the negatives out of the way. Let's talk about the positives, because Alex Pereira, unbelievable, just unbelievable. So Khalil Rountree certainly won the first 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
He won the first 2 rounds, and I even tweeted because I was surprised, and it was entertaining and it was exciting because Khalil was on the outside, dashing in, going from a 0 to 100, swinging, landing shots at the start, just ever so slightly out of range. Pereira would back up, get just out of the way, but he was starting to find the mark. He was starting to find the rhythm. He was starting to find the chin. Maybe he dropped him. Maybe it's because he was off balance, whatever.
I think he dropped him.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a case either way. Landed a head kick, landed some good shots. So he was up 2 rounds. The problem is that style exploding in so quick, that's hard to do. It's hard to sprint for 5 rounds. And the thing that really impressed me about Pereira is composure in there. Mm-hmm. He was never, like I was talking about this yesterday, when I was training, when I was doing my strength and conditioning circuits, my coach used to say to me, because I would go, whatever I was doing, he'd be like, Michael, relax your face. Just because physically you're going for it doesn't mean that mentally you've got to be all stressed out as well. Pereira was just calm the whole time. But in the mind of Khalil Rountree, he's in a panicked, furious state of mind. So that everything's in stress mode. You're redlining everything, mentally, physically, all of it. So you're going to get burned out. You can't continue like that. But on the flip side, Pereira, he took some shots. He was never rocked. He was never hurt. He was never troubled. Yeah, the liver kick certainly looked like it affected him. Mm-hmm. So I'm not being disrespectful to Khalil, because I thought he was fantastic in what he did. But then when Pereira started to turn on the gas and go for it, I mean, we saw some beautiful striking.
Well, you know what that feeling is when someone's going hard and you're having a tough time matching that intensity, because that's what I seen through the first 2 rounds. I seen Alex Pereira having a tough time matching the intensity and kind of insanity of Khalil Rountree. So he just had to stay calm and try to stay as safe as he could. But when you look across and this next round starts and you're moving around and you see them, you can see it in people's faces when they're starting to slow down, and things are getting more labored and the speed's not as hard to deal with anymore. And it almost gives you a burst of energy. Like, oh, I got you. You're tired.
Yeah. It's tired. A good feeling.
Yeah. You're tired and I'm not that tired. So you can kind of see that start to happen. And to be very honest, there was a lot of me those first 2 rounds that felt really good watching Khalil.
Oh,
at least it ain't just me.
hey, bro. So I was watching it with my wife. We just got back. She was exhausted. Oh, it was me. She'd fallen asleep. Callum was there. Yeah. And he actually says it, Anthony Smith is loving this.
Yes, he was. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, at least, like, it would have really hurt my heart if Pereira would have went out there and just dusted Khalil like around.
Smoked him beyond belief, like he's nothing. You know what I mean?
But watching him like have some real serious success and land big on, how it is as a fighter, like you kind of sit back and go, she didn't land on me like that till the 3rd round. Yeah. Like it was cool. It made me happy for Khalil. Like it was good because there was a lot of doubts. There was a lot of haters that said he wasn't going to hang at all. And so I was just happy for him that he was competitive and showed that like he can fight at that level. And I think he goes back to the drawing board and gets better. I think that some of it is it kind of reminds me of Hamzat a little bit. Actually, I had like some Hamzat comparisons where if he could have fought at the pace he fought at for the first 2 rounds or 2.5 rounds, if he could do that for 5, he's unstoppable. The problem is just like you said, you can't fight like that for 25 minutes. It's too much of an output at our size. Some of the smaller guys can fight at that pace. It's just not quite as impactful when they land. But Hamzat is kind of very similar. If you take away if you slow Khalil down a little bit, take a little bit of the heat off, is he as effective long term over the longevity of a 25-minute fight? Because he can do that for 3. He'll win a 3-round fight like that over almost anybody.
Well, I always use this comparison that you can't be a sprinter and a marathon runner. You're one or the other. There is people like I had really good cardio, but I wasn't the most explosive guy. You know what I mean? And you don't have that natural cardio ability. You just built a certain way, but then be able to run 100 meters dash in like a record time. You just don't, it just doesn't work like that. Khalil is clearly fast twitch muscle fiber. I mean, look at the physique on the guy.
Yeah, he's insane.
You know, it's unreal. The traps on that dude are mind blowing.
Yeah. But if you can fight like that for 25 minutes, there's not a whole lot of people are going to beat that guy. But he's tough to beat in 3 rounds when he's fighting like that. He's just, it's too much. And so towards the end of the 3rd round, you started to see, like, I think that last minute of the 3rd round is when Pereira realized, okay, I got him now. Now it's so weird though when you mentioned the calmness and composure of Pereira. It was almost like he knew from the 1st round, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna knock this guy out. I just don't know when. Like it was almost like it was just by looking at him, it gave me this feeling of like, oh, he's only got 10 minutes, so it's probably gonna happen soon.
Well,
like
you could see the self-assurance on his face. Yeah.
It was just a foregone, it was like, this is how it's going to go.
The jab was unbelievable. You know, the speed of that jab. And then when he started to put it together, it was fantastic to watch the way he would slip and then rip fast, powerful shots. Fair play to Khalil. He took a lot of damage. He showed a lot of heart, handled himself with class. I mean, he was bossed up to the max at the end of it.
He loses nothing here.
No,
his stock doesn't fall at all. Yeah.
He just took Pereira four rounds. You know,
that's the same Pereira that guy who was in crazy good shape and didn't look like he was tired even a little bit is the same guy that last time he fought in Salt Lake City gassed through a round and a half and still squeaked out a decision win.
Yeah. No,
watch absolutely. This is crazy. Look, there's this one shot just like this where his eyes roll back in his head. This is it. And he still throws a counter. Yeah.
He still threw a counter.
He still threw a counter.
And that's what you got to respect, because when, the tides have turned. You're on your last legs, right? You're about to hit the deck. You're exhausted. You're bust up. You can't see. You've got blood dripping down over your eyes. You're still taking shots, but you've still got the balls to what? And he landed a couple.
He did. He landed some big shots.
He landed some good shots as well. And you got to respect that, man, because 100%. It's so easy to go down because you've taken enough damage. You can fall down to your knees at any time. You can curl up in a ball and let the referee stop the fight. But he wasn't. He was still trying.
When there's no light at the end of the tunnel, there's no win. Like what we can all say, oh, you never know. He might land a shot. They know. Like they both already know. Like this is just a means to an end, and you're like Alex Pereira's looking at him like, come on, dude. Like you're just prolonging this. Like let's just get this over with.
And like, Khalil, cut the shit. Cut the shit. What are you doing?
Like, not yet.
He's like, really? You're gonna make me carry on doing this?
Right. But when there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and you both know what's coming over that horizon pretty soon, and he still throws back like that, the balls on that guy.
Well, you know what they call that? They call that a fighter.
Yeah. Simple. So congrats to both of them.
Congrats to both of them. Well done to Alex Pereira. And I loved what he said afterwards, because we all know there's been talk of fighting Dricus, talk of going up to heavyweight. And he was like, no, I've got work to do in the light heavyweight division. And that's exactly what I wanted to hear, because we all know, and this is the only knock, and you've said it, I've said it, the only knock so far is that he hasn't got out against, and I know Jan Blachowicz is a black belt in BJJ and had some success in the takedowns, but like a real heavy wrestler, like a Magomed Ankalaev. And if he sticks at light heavyweight.
I got to push you back on this one a little bit, because I did say the same thing. And then I was doing a little bit of research and digging into this Rakic Ankalaev fight. And other than Blachowicz, there's not a shit ton of takedowns that Magomed Ankalaev actually shoots. He's ended up on top. He's ended up on top a couple times.
Well, he said he's not going to shoot as well. But
he doesn't even call himself a wrestler. He says he's a striker.
Yeah, but he has got a wrestling pedigree.
He can wrestle. Yeah, I'm not saying he can't. Yeah, he can
I've seen him shoot some bloody good takedowns. For sure. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's going to go out there and do that, but somebody that on their resume, because Strickland, Izzy, Yuri, Jamal, all tremendous fighters, but you could say stylistically favorable matchups. But that's not his fault. That's the top 10 in the light heavyweight division currently. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's not his fault at all. But for that final tick of a box, I would love to see him against somebody that has that threat. And whether or not Magomed uses that threat, that's completely down to him. Maybe he doesn't. Right. Maybe he does what Colby Covington did against Leon Edwards and just didn't feel that the takedown was there and couldn't get it set up and all the rest of it. Regardless, if he doesn't do that, that's his downfall, or maybe it's not his downfall. But I'm just saying that's the only question mark. The only question mark still remaining. And then after that, if he does do that, I mean, the question is, because this is the question that's going around, is Alex Pereira the pound for pound number one fighter in mixed martial arts? Because that's what people are saying, and I think that's a crazy one. But when I was having the conversation yesterday, they did a pretty good job of convincing me.
Is he right now?
What? That's the question I'm asking you. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying, what's your opinion, Mr. Analyst?
I've argued over and over and over that as long as John Jones is bookable and is able to be in there still.
I know. I know. Don't say it. Don't say it. Listen. It's John Jones all effing day. We know that. But forget about that, right? He hasn't fought for a while. He's fighting next month. Okay, so just get over it.
As long as he's able to fight.
Thank God you're saying this. Thank God you're saying this, because we're saying the right thing, because we're going to have jobs on Monday. You got to say John Jones.
Yeah, well, you have to.
They don't give a fuck what we say on here, guys.
I don't know if you guys know this. Dana doesn't watch this show. He doesn't care.
He doesn't give a shit.
Nobody at the UFC watches. I've never once had anybody we work with say, I love your guys' show last week. No one's ever said that. Great job saying that John Jones. Yeah, if you're at home watching this, you're probably the only one. That's it.
Christ.
It's John Jones. It's
got your back, Jones. Dana. I've got your back.
I got you.
He doesn't give a fuck what I say.
I'm waiting on the check. That's what people think. Yeah. They think we're getting paid to just parrot. Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, it's John Jones, and it's the longevity. It's the different generations of guys that he's fought. I'm not going to get into why it's John Jones. We've done this 100 times.
We know.
Is Pereira close? I am struggling to find someone competing right now that's doing better than him.
Let's take Jones out of it, because I think on the rankings right now, because me and you both said Jones, right? Yeah. Forget that. So we'll take currently Jones. Right now in the rankings, it's Islam Makhachev and Pereira's number 2.
See, I think that performances like Saturday probably passes Islam. I think that Islam is he's a more well-rounded fighter. Like in terms of his skill set, he has a greater, more diverse skill set than Pereira. Pereira's more active. He's fighting the next guy. He's doing it on short notice. He's doing it in tough places. Salt Lake City's not an easy place to fight. It's at altitude. It's a tough place to be. He fought Yuri on short notice. He fought Jamal Hill, who's not an easy guy to fight. Remember what we've seen Jamal do to other guys. There's always, our memory flashes back to Pereira knocking him out, but how many guys had Jamal done that to on his way to the title? Let's not forget that I love Glover, but he absolutely walked through Glover Teixeira to win the title. So, and beat a guy who's a great grappler, defended takedowns, got up from the bottom. Like, he's a well-rounded fighter. I think that his activity and the way that he's finishing people is different.
Well, that's the key right there. It's the way that he's finishing people, and of course the strength of schedule, which is awesome. But you mentioned Jamal there. Did you see? You saw this? And again, I'm not trying to kiss Pereira's ass here, because apparently everyone thinks I dislike Pereira because I've picked against him in the past. Jamal Hill was yawning Yeah,
I love Jamal, but there was nothing boring about that.
There was nothing boring about it.
I get Jamal though. Like I understand his frustration though.
But hold on. But then when Pereira was asked about it, he had the best comeback of all time. He said, "You see, Jamal was yawning." He said, "Oh yeah, maybe he just woke up from UFC 3."
That's fucked up. Fucked up.
That is,
and Jamal's he's got to know that there's like when you do things like that, you're gonna get something coming back at you for sure.
That is comedic genius right there. That is a good line.
That's a good line.
Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I do feel for Jamal though, because like that Khalil fight was supposed to be his, and then Khalil fails the drug test, and he self-reports and goes through the whole red tape, and then on the other side of it gets a title fight. That's got to be frustrating for a guy like Jamal who wants to take out a guy like that to get himself back in title contention. I can understand the frustration.
Oh, listen,
it's a great comeback.
100%, but still, we just got to laugh at
it's a great comeback.
Of it all.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Oh dear. What else? I agree. I thought Raquel Pennington won that fight. I thought she won rounds 1, 4, and 5, 2 and 3 clearly for Pena, 4 and 5 easy for Raquel Pennington. The judges should have had it 2 and 2 going into 5, but they didn't.
They didn't.
Again, it wasn't crazy, I lean towards Raquel.
This judging thing is not that hard.
Shouldn't be.
It's not that hard. It's really not.
So you say that, and I'm not defending them, by the way. I'm not defending them. But when we had this seminar, there was all the commentators and John Anik and Fitzgerald and Megan O'Leary. And we're there with the commission and some referees, and they were all probably sick of us talking shit about them, to be honest. So what they did was they had us judge some fights. But to be fair, the fights that we judged were the most difficult fights ever to judge. They were weird. They were like from the back end of Mongolia. You've never heard of these fighters,
right?
And to be fair, DC had it scored one way. I had it scored another. Cruz had it scored another way. Cruz was like, that guy had underhooks. He gets the win.
That guy got 3 underhooks over the 15 minutes.
The point that I'm making is you're right. It's not that hard. But in some situations, people just perceive different things. Yeah. And again, that is in some ways because of the beauty of the sport, because it is so complicated and people have different backgrounds and they do just naturally favor certain things. Again, I'm not making excuses for the judges, but I've got to be honest and just give that an example.
Some fights are difficult. I didn't think that was one of them.
Yeah. No,
I didn't think the Jose Aldo fight was one of them.
I thought it was pretty easy.
I'm sure there's definitely going to be anomalies like the fights that you're talking about that are just so goddamn close that it's hard to tell. Those don't happen that often.
Raquel Pennington landed more shots in the first round. It didn't go down to the ground. She did more damage. I thought it was pretty easy. It was
clear. And then we would have all got that 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pretty clear to me.
Dude, we got to talk about Kevin Holland. Got a feel for that guy.
Oh, that sucked. That was going to be a good one.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's what
rib
it
injuries.
Is, yeah.
Rib injuries, man.
Them ribs. Them damn ribs.
With a bad rib. I mean, not everyone can take a main event at Madison Square Garden with messed up ribs against the greatest of all time in George St. Pierre. Not everyone's cut from that cloth.
No.
You know.
Could
What
just
about his
push it back
corner?
a little bit.
What about his corner?
I thought it was good. I thought they were waiting to let him come to terms with it himself. I don't think that because he what's that guy? His head coach's name. God damn it. Bob? Whatever his name is.
Cornerman A.
Yeah, he does a great job. We see him often. And I don't think he's the type of guy that was going to send Kevin back out there with a rib injury like that. I think he was just letting Kevin come to terms with it on his own. Because as soon as the round was about to start, he was like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah, but you got 60 seconds. You don't want to straight away just go, no.
And I thought he did a good job waiting to see if it cleared. When he seen it wasn't clearing, called it good.
You can speak to your fighter. You can understand. You can say, all right, let's give it a little second. See, and it's about caring for the person. And that's what I think the bigger conversation is here. We don't see enough of that from mixed martial arts coaches. We don't see enough towels getting thrown in. Right?
Totally
in boxing, you see it all the time. All the time. Perillo threw in the towel. I believe it was BJ Penn versus George St. Pierre. I think he threw the towel in then, because the fighter's not going to win the fight. Kevin Holland, as skilled as he is and as fun as he is, and we're all fans of Kevin, when the ribs are gone like that, you can't fight. He was just going to take an absolute beating from Roman dolidze, right? Simple as that. And who knows?
And there's no reason to see that.
And he's not he's not the same fighter ever again after that, because maybe he took such a savage beat down, got mounted and just pounded to shit, that psychologically he never recovers,
Right. So it's hard to grapple when your ribs are messed up. Your ribs are out. It's done.
You can't do shit.
Yeah, you can't wrestle. You can't grapple. You can't turn. You can't do anything. He couldn't shake people's hand in the back.
Oh, could he not?
He couldn't get his arm outside of his body that far. Like, you can't fight like that. You can't fight like that. So I was happy to see that. It's unfortunate because I thought that was going to be a pretty good fight, but happy to see it stopped for sure.
I've got a long story. I won't go into it about what my plan was for UFC 217 when I tore my cartilage in my ribs. I had some painkillers and I was going to inject myself right before the fight. My doctor was going to FaceTime me and walk me through it. It was a numbing agent that isn't illegal. And he said, but you might puncture you long, but it takes too long. But it's crazy. He said, you can do this and you won't feel pain, but you might puncture your lung and die. I'm like, wait up. What else real quick off the main card? Let's have a look. We're going to talk about Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah. What a performance for him. Losing the fight. Third round. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson absolutely looked incredible. I thought he was fast. I thought all the things that Stephen Thompson always is. Thought he looked really good. Seemed like he turned the clock back a little bit. He was healthy. I know he's been battling some injuries his last couple fights and trying to push through and just, he said it himself. At his age, he can't push through injuries like he used to. Thought he looked in shape, and was on his way to a victory. And Joaquin Buckley just jumped off of his feet. Yeah, he was midair when he landed that right hand. He looked.
Any boxing coach would shit the bed and go, "What are you doing?" Right? I don't care. It landed. It knocked him out. Shut up. What are you talking about? This is mixed martial arts. We have Superman punches. We have jumping attacks. So it's a little bit different. I thought Buckley looked really good. I mean, what is that now? 5 or 6 in a row?
5 at welterweight.
Yeah, 5 since going down to welterweight. Wonderboy Thompson, highly ranked guy, beating some other good ones as well. The wrestling looked far better. He's improving all the time. Of course, I thought Wonderboy looked fantastic as well. He looked really quick. I was impressed with what I saw from Wonderboy. Didn't look like a guy that's what is he, 42?
41.
41. Didn't look like a 41-year-old guy. That's clean living for you. That's driving the kids to karate. That's not getting shit-faced in Paris for 12 days in a row. That's good old-fashioned clean living up there in the Carolinas.
Yeah, that's he looked really good, and which makes Buckley's win more impressive. Yeah, it makes his win look way more impressive. And it's not like he was getting blown out. I thought that Wonderboy was just slightly ahead.
Should we get Harrington on the show for a quick second?
Yeah, I guess.
Come on, then. Come
on.
Herringbone.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is a tweet that went viral on Sunday. I wanted to get you guys' take on this. Alex Pereira is being touted as possibly greater in the greatest of all time rankings than one Khabib Nurmagomedov, at least according to some of these. I'm going to call them newer fans of the sport. I wanted to get you guys' take on it.
Well, look, listen, I mean, that is just a subjective conversation. He sent us the tweet yesterday. I mean, what do you say? Yeah, okay, he's been very active. He's been very successful. He's stopping a lot of great people. He's defended the belt 3 times, just like Khabib had. But Khabib never lost. It's debatable whether or not he ever lost a round. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time, but there is immediate arguments that
Tyson
you can point out.
Fight?
Say again?
That Tyson Glebow.
Yeah, well, no, that's the one that people talk about, say that maybe he lost. But that's one guy that maybe gave him a little bit of a push. And then I can only recall one other time where I thought maybe he actually lost a round, and that was Al Quinta. That he took like the day of the fight. Yeah. See, that again, though, that's not a good look. I'm not talking shit about Al Quinta. He's the man. Right, and if I was buying a house in New York, I'd buy the fucking Alex Quinta all day long, buddy. He's the man I love about. But he jumped off the couch. He was selling a house in Long Island. He got a phone call.
On the card.
I know, I'm joking.
I was like, he was on the card. But they also switched it like the day before, or like the day of the morning of the fight, and that was one round.
Wasn't there like 3 opponents that week for Khabib?
Yeah, well.
Was it Max Holloway for a second as well?
It was supposed to be Max. Well, it was initially supposed to be someone else. Then Max Holloway took a short notice.
That's when Ferguson tripped over.
Yeah, it was Ferguson, and then Max Holloway jumped in, and then he got sick or had some medical emergency while he was cutting weight. And then Al Quinta was on the card. It was actually going to be Paul Felder. Fun fact, but Paul Felder weighed in at 156 pounds.
Was that the one where I saved the day on Max Holloway's health? I think I did, because we were doing an interview on Fox. What was it? UFC Tonight.
I remember the interview, and he was like,
I'm talking to Max, and he's like, oh. And like halfway through the interview, I'm just like, are you okay, Max? Is everything all right? Because you don't sound yourself. And he took a good crack in sparring, and then I think decided to pull out of the fight. So I'm not taking credit for Max Holloway's resurgence and beating Justin Gaethje, but if I never said that, he wouldn't be fighting for the title next month in Abu Dhabi or in a few weeks.
That's fair. That's you.
It's fair. It's fair.
You saved his life, probably.
The nation of Hawaii, pride.
You saved the entire state.
I saved the tourism industry of Hawaii. I was there recently. Give us a non-MMA, Harrington. Hold on, let me have a look at them first. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to, before we got off the Pereira thing, I think this is interesting. Khabib Nurmagomedov, how many former champions did he beat in his entire run?
Former champions. Okay, so Dustin Poirier was an interim champ.
That doesn't count. Champ. We're not going to count that? I'll count that.
Yeah, okay. He was an interim champ.
Justin Gaethje.
Conor McGregor was a champ.
Conor McGregor. So that's
Justin
3.
Gaethje was not a champ in the UFC.
He was an interim.
He was interim.
Was he really?
Yeah.
God damn.
So that would, if you count the interims, that's 3 former champions for Khabib Nurmagomedov in his run. Alex Pereira already has 5 under his belt.
So what are you subconsciously saying?
Yeah, what are you trying to make us? What are you trying to make us say?
Because we've got a large following in Dagestan, and they're going to shit the bed when they hear this, Harrington.
And they have YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what the YouTube situation is for the. I don't know if the tribes in Brazil have gotten it yet. So yeah, we should probably steer to the side of Khabib for sure.
The tribes in Brazil. Now the Brazilians are going to hate us.
Wow, geez,
that's fine. They don't like me anyways.
Okay. No, but you and Pereira, you're all lovey-dovey these days.
Yeah, we actually been having a lot of fun. He's a very nice guy. He's sweet.
He doesn't say a lot.
He does though. It's just like he's shy in front of cameras. Behind the scenes, he's actually very he's funny and playful, and I've been saying the same shit for a long time, and now people are starting to believe me a little bit.
On paper, he's a very funny guy.
Listen, first of all.
Whoa, your words.
On paper, He's a great man.
Exactly. On paper.
On paper.
The shit. All right, this episode is sponsored by Prizepicks, and Prizepicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prizepicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prizepicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on a 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. For example, one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 on Prizepicks every week in September. That's right, only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on Prizepicks because it's gone when September ends. Right now, you can up to 100x your money on Prizepicks with just as little as 4 correct picks. Prizepicks is the best way to get action on sports in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So as I say, whatever the sport is that you're betting on, you just got to select 6 stats. If you get 4, then you win. Like, for example, this week, Tyreek Hill, will he get more or less than 90 receiving yards? And Dak Prescott, more or less than 263 pass yards. Josh Allen, for less than 240 passing yards, and CD Lamb for more than 96 receiving yards. So right now, download the Prizepicks app, use the code BELIEVE, and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That is code BELIEVE on Prizepicks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. Prizepicks, run your game. And what were you going to throw at us for non-MMA? There's a few interesting ones here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I got one here. A study says men need at least 2 quote-unquote boys' nights per week to stay healthy. Not only did it help their mental well-being, but also their very immune systems just by hanging out with the fellas.
Well, I agree.
I find that hard to
2
believe.
nights a week, that's a lot.
I don't want to go out 2 nights.
I don't know. The day after a boys' night, I tend to feel pretty.
I was going to say,
Yeah. 2 nights a week.
Are all those beers going to make my immune system better or what?
Yeah, the immune system I call absolute bullshit on. 2 boys' nights a week. I don't think they're talking about boys' nights like we might be talking boys' nights. You get together with the old boys, you go out, you get crazy, you have a wild night. You need 2 days to recover from that. So like if 2 of them a week, that's 6 days of the week. You're getting divorced pretty quickly, you know. But I do think there is something in the mental health aspect where getting together with the guys and just bullshitting and talking and just having a laugh and busting balls and just being silly. I do think that's important for men to have that time.
I totally agree. And I have a good time, maybe every once in a while, like we'll go out and have some food at a sports bar or something and watch a football game, or like those are really, really fun nights for me. You just can't do that. Like, no, you can't do it that often. I got shit to do. I can't just be hanging out all evening and night with my friends.
I've grown out of it anyway. Don't get me wrong. I love it when it does happen, and it's always unexpected. I never plan a boys' night. Most of my boys are back in England. These days I'm working all the time, and when I'm not working, I'm with my family because I've got obligations there. You know what I'm saying? There's a bigger conversation here, though, Harrington. Devon Haney, give us the lowdown on this, because this is interesting, because I think this opens the door for a deeper conversation. He's suing Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, he's suing him for battery, fraud, and unjust enrichment, stemming from their bout earlier in the year where Garcia was caught to be using PEDs.
Battery, fraud, and unjust enrichment. So the battery, obviously beating him in the ring.
Yeah.
The fraud, taking steroids. Unjust enrichment, cheating in a professional contest and obviously acquiring said riches. So now he's suing him. Now, I'm not saying I agree with all of that, but I do like the fact, it's a push. It's a push. But I do understand if 2 men sign a contract to fight, whether it's a cage or a ring, whatever it is, and it's not illegal, but it's against the rules to be using performance-enhancing drugs, and you go out there and let's say you kick someone in the head and they lose an eyeball, is that assault?
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line? I'm just saying it's an interesting conversation.
I don't think it's that blurry. I think if you fail a performance enhancing drug test, I think that you should be held I think you should be held criminally accountable. Not just drug. I mean, if you back when weed was legal, I don't think you should have been. I don't think that would have counted. But performance enhancing drug, yeah, I think you should be held criminally liable for that.
Yeah,
I mean, think of like how many sports teams get fined and end up in these weird situations when they're caught, like football teams are caught cheating and guys are getting their Heisman's taken away, and they're like, I don't know why we don't do more of that. Well, because if a guy misses weight, you get 30% of his money, but if he fails a drug test for performance enhancing drugs, you don't get shit. That's weird.
That's a good point. That's a good point because, and I was going to say, yeah, this ain't football, this ain't basketball. We all know it's combat sports. The only objective is to beat your man unconscious, and then you're taking illegal drugs to make you hit harder, recover faster, train better. All right, it doesn't give you skills, but it allows you to work way harder and increase your power. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the recovery so you can go harder. Because if someone not on steroids pushes it hard Monday, Tuesday, by Wednesday, they're exhausted and they don't want to go quite as hard. The guy on the gear, on the good stuff, he's going crazy. He's going balls to the walls every single day. You recover quick, you can go harder, and you have a good diet, and you fucking push into the max, and your biceps are popping like a goddamn son of a bitch. All these juices that you see, the bodybuilders and stuff, they're juiced out of the minds. But they all train extremely hard. But I do like that because I don't know what the what is it what's the term I'm looking for, the amount of time, what's it called, Brian? You'll know
the amount of time,
like a sunk cost fallacy.
No, what's it called? The amount of time that passes before you can file a lawsuit.
Oh, the statute of limitations.
Yeah, statute of limitations. There you go. Because I've got one coming, Vito.
You got one coming from Uber.
Yeah, for Uber as well. Let's go. Yeah, it's an interesting one because I think it's what's defined in the contract going into it, just like on the Uber terms and conditions. There should be some. I'm not against seeing more stronger language in those contracts. As they say.
Well, I have like. And I hope, I hope he doesn't get mad at me, but I think he'll understand because he knows where I stand on this. I'm so much more against performance enhancing drugs now than I was even a year ago. So Rob Wilkinson, former light heavyweight champion, tournament winner in PFL. Yeah. Absolute goddamn monster. Okay. During one training, do I?
Sorry, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. So the first training camp that he and I did together, we were fighting about the same time. And I was actually getting ready for Johnny Walker. And it really messed with my head because I know that I was skill-wise and technically we were right there with each other. And there was, some days he'd get me, some days I'd get him. But it was the first time I'd ever felt old in a training camp because Rob and he's a little bit younger than me, but not like a lot. And Monday we're hanging, Tuesday we're hanging, like Wednesday, I'm a dead body. I'm dragging my ass into the gym. I get there, he's there, he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, he's jumping around, he's feeling great, he's joking. Thursday, I'm like, they're carrying me in a coffin, and he's same thing. He's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, he's jumping around, he's jump roping, he's warming up, he's doing privates before, he's doing privates
telling
after.
Jokes and like the life and energy of the room.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, it's all I can do just to drag my ass into the gym. And then Friday we spar, and I'm so crashed and beat up. It's all I can do to just keep up in some of these rounds. And every once in a while I'd win one, and but I'm losing 2 out of 3. And I'm like, it's with me for weeks. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I'm falling apart. Like I've fallen off. Like, that's the ledge. I fell off and I'm old. I can't do it anymore. And then he fails his drug test. I'm like, oh my God. So then I'm angry at him. Like, I was so mad at him for a long time. Like, you changed how I felt about myself because I thought that that's normal and I'm not normal anymore. And then we do a training camp after his suspension and he's human again. Like, oh, okay. That's the difference. Like, I have a clear before and after of what the difference is. And again, Rob's a great guy, made a really stupid decision. I'm not going to hold it against him forever, but I'm absolutely going to bring it up in these kind of situations because I had a very clear before and after what the difference was. And it was so day and night.
And that's
that it
what
made me even more against PEDs than I was before. I've always been very, very loudly against PEDs, but I'm even further that way because of I've just seen exactly what it can do to a person. Like, it's different.
I was the biggest advocate. I was the biggest shit talker for anyone that failed the drug test. For those exact reasons, of course, I lost an eye because of it. I also had guys. I fought through the TRT era. You know what I mean? I was in the UFC.
And that's what Rob was on. Yeah.
People were allowed, and we weren't privy to this information, by the way. When I was knocked into the next dimension by Dan Henderson, he was juiced to the gills legally. All you had to do was go to a doctor, right, and just say, hey, can you just say that I've got low testosterone, right? And if you've got a good relationship with your doctor, they'll go, yeah, all right, whatever, no problem. It's not going to kill you. We don't care. And then there you go. Boom. You've got a green light to be taking testosterone replacement therapy. And for all the reasons that we just said, it's the recovery. Yeah, it doesn't make your kicking ability better, but it makes your ability to practice those kicks better. It makes your ability to get out of bed and go to the gym and lift weights and run sprints and just have motivation to train and want to be in the room better.
Well, it makes you a little bit stronger. It helps your conditioning. It like you're getting more benefits from those extra workouts. Whereas I'm doing damage to my body as we're going through it. He's getting better as we go along because he's healing faster. So when you're lifting and you're punching and you're kicking and your muscles are getting sore, that's your actual muscle fibers tearing. Well, it takes a certain amount of time when you're not on something for that to heal and for you to get better. That's what we use the weekends for, so that we can recover. He has a weekend every night.
Yes.
And then also, Tuesday, he's back to normal. And then Wednesday, he's back to normal. And
one of the bigger things is the psychological advantage, because you feel this. So internally, you feel like a superhero, right? And I've seen it firsthand. I have trained with people that were taking steroids on the regional scene. And let me tell you, they were a monster. Right. Yeah. And then they had a couple of fights in the UFC. So they came off it. And I'm not going to mention names, but they turned into absolute pussycats. They were still as big. They were still almost as strong, but mentally they knew they weren't on the gear and they were a load of shit. And what happened? They showed up to the US. I remember a certain person on data. This guy's the man. I am telling you right now, he's going to be the champion. Right. Gets beaten off of nobody. Gets embarrassed. Because he'd come off the shit 6 months beforehand, right? And therefore you can't do it anymore, you know? And that's the big difference. Yeah, all the physical stuff that we mentioned as well, but the confidence levels of it. Like, and all these people that were on TRT saying, oh, I need this to live. People said that. If I don't take this, I will die, my doctor told me. I've seen interviews where people said that, right? Then they come off TRT. They're still fighting in the UFC. And the biggest example of that is Vitor.
TRT Vitor versus
Belfort. TRT Belfort was unstoppable, right? He was spinning wheel, kicking everyone's head off, right? Then he comes off the juice. He looks like a used tea bag, right?
He looked like a melting ice cream cone.
He did. He was like, he looked like a plastic surgery gone wrong, right? It looked like, like take the biggest fat old lady, right? Give her a bunch of liposuction. That's not even the best.
That's not even the best one.
It's not the best one. But like, you know, imagine like take one of these like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If there's someone on there that's like 65 and overweight and all the rest of it, suck all the fat out, but all the loose flabby skin.
But all the skin.
If you give Harrington a bunch of liposuction, I'm sorry, Harrington, I'm joking, buddy, I'm joking. You give him a bunch of liposuction and make him do 10 push-ups, and then that's what he looked like.
And send him in to fight.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it really. It messed with me. The Rob thing messed with me. It really did. I had a tough time. I mean, twice, back then, twice a week, I'd come on here with you. Say, how's training camp going? Like, Mike, it's going awesome. But really in my head, like, this guy is beating the shit out of me every day. Nobody beats them. That's what it was. Like, nobody did that to me. Like, even now, no one consistently beats the shit out of me like that. The only person that's done it was him.
But that's the thing, though, right? And it's whatever you're doing in life. It's the confidence. If you're going and you're getting results
for what you're doing. He never, ever got. I mean, like when you're in a sparring round, like we spar like they're actual fights. So we got 3 rounds in a row in the cage. We got our own coaches and corners or whatever. Like the first round, pretty goddamn close. But then the second round, I start, like you start to fatigue as the time goes on and your level comes down. But he didn't. In between rounds, he's back 100%. Second round, I'm like, son of a bitch. This guy does not get tired.
It fucks with you mentally.
Oh my
because
God.
You're going to work every day, to the gym, right? Whatever it is that you're doing. If you're not getting the results that you're looking for, you're second guessing what you're doing. You're second guessing your future. You're thinking, I am putting my heart and soul into this. I'm trying my best and I'm getting nowhere. So then then you start to doubt yourself.
And that's a goddamn crime. That's a goddamn crime.
So if we sign
a goddamn contract that we're supposed to go in on even terms, and then you're doing all of those things, that's a goddamn. You just stole money from me because that's not fair.
Haney, his lawyer, should play this excerpt.
He should
in the trial, right?
100%. I give him
he
permission.
Will represent Devin Haney at that lawsuit, and it will be. Judge, jury, executioner, Ryan Garcia is guilty of battery, fraud, and unjust enrichment.
So pretty much what we figured out is that he's not going to get shit. But we're gonna be the prosecutor for Devin Haney's case and for Diddy's. We're putting Ryan Garcia and Diddy in prison.
I ain't defending Diddy.
No. We're prosecuting them. Ryan Garcia and Diddy are going down. Courtesy of the
Diddy,
BYM.
Israel Adesanya had a close running with Diddy.
Did he?
Did he? I see what you did there. Harrington, I never saw this. He was on the Rogan podcast. What did he say?
So he said that he went to, I believe, the place called Tootsie's after, his victory over Alex Pereira in Miami. He went out to a place. The bartender or somebody said, hey, Diddy was in here last night watching your fight, like going crazy. He's a big fan. Izzy says he checked his DMs. In there was like a message from Diddy saying, hey, man, loved your fight. You're a superstar. Would love to get like an interview or something with you. And they started a back and forth there. He said that at that point, Puffy just went cold, stopped responding to him. But in Izzy's words, it's because God was saving him, from that kind of evil being in his life.
Just like, bring your baby oil, bro. We're gonna go crazy.
1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Big old boys.
That's
Costco
horrific.
specials.
That's horrific, Mike. What if you're think about this? You're in this Diddy party, right? And you're just hanging out.
Yeah.
No.
You're Israel Adesanya. Okay.
Well, no, and you're looking for the bathroom.
No, but you're walking in. You've got the French tips, right? You've got the dog collar on. You're a target. I'm sorry, Izzy. They're fucking coming for you. They're like, bro, get the baby oil. Let's go.
Well, what if you're just in there, you're dancing, and you're like, I got to take a piss, and you're looking for the bathroom, and you take a wrong turn, you open the door, and that's where they store 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I swear to God, I'm shooting my way out of there. I don't care. I'm leaving and I'm shooting everyone on my way out. You're not stopping me.
Oh shit.
Oh man. 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
It's a very serious matter. Okay.
Did you see where Diddy tried to blame it on like Costco or something? We're like, well, these places sell it in bulk. And Costco came out. They said, nah, bitch, we don't even sell baby oil.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
I saw the lawyer say
like,
it was
no
buying
way.
in bulk. Oh, so they should have done their homework on that one.
Yeah.
And Costco came out and said, no.
I think Costco came out and were like, no, we don't even sell baby oil.
We don't even sell baby oil. Oh, shit. Brilliant. Let's go to a break. All right, this episode is sponsored by MyBookie. And guess what? If you sign up to MyBookie right now and you use the code BELIEVE, you're going to get up to a $1,000 signing up bonus. And you're also going to get a $10 chip to use at their casino. So use that code BELIEVE. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Square contest. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. And now loyalty pays off. With MyBookie, the more you play, the more you win. It's simple. Climb through the tiers of the loyalty rewards program and unlock even more epic promotions, exclusive giveaways, and bigger rewards. MyBookie is the lock of the country. Also this season, MyBookie's pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like the weekly risk-free boost on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget about it. MyBookie will refund your wager. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie. And make sure you use the code BELIEVE. You will get up to a $1,000 signing bonus and $10 to roll at the casino.
All right, so check this out. I got a kind of a twofer story here. Sean Strickland is in. What's that?
Like at Costco.
Yeah, you're getting value with this story. So Sean Strickland's in the news because Dricus du Plessis' coach says that Dricus is going to be defending his belt for the next time in Sydney, Australia. And that rubs Sean Strickland the wrong way. Obviously, he's the presumed number one contender. Dana White said he's next to fight for the belt. Sean Strickland said, "You want to send me to a country that doesn't like me, that's going to tax me to hell, where I have issues. What is the UFC thinking like that?" Add to that, he's got another guy barking him down. Belal Muhammad says he would gladly take a non-title fight at middleweight if it meant he could get his hands on Sean Strickland.
Yeah. I mean, well, Belal doesn't like Sean, and Sean says a lot of crazy shit. So, that's irrelevant. But the Australian thing, I kind of get what Sean's saying. I mean, he fought in Canada last time. Then it was Australia before that. So now he's going to be back on a plane going down under. If what Dricus' coach says is true, and he'd probably know something about that.
Yeah, he would know.
But it treated him well last time.
And he got a lot of love over there too.
He got a lot of love.
The travel and the taxes suck, though. I mean, I gotta agree with him there.
Well, the taxes don't really matter. You still get the credit, I suppose, back here. You still pay the taxes either way. It gets knocked off. You just get your accountant to file it, and you just get a tax credit for it. So,
travel definitely sucks.
But does it? I used to love traveling the world.
Well, it's definitely I mean, again, it's all a write-off, but it still costs you a goddamn fortune to fly your team over there. If you got a couple training partners, your coaches. I mean, you might be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, shit. In Singapore, I was probably $30,000 in flights.
Well, dude, I used to when I fought in Australia, which I think I did 3 times. I got 2 weeks before, and you've got to accommodate everybody. You got to fly all your team and all the rest of it.
Right, get a couple houses or one big one or whatever.
So that definitely is an issue. Also, Strickland,
it's first world problems. I guess.
Yeah, but Strickland's he's got a really strong fan base.
He does.
That fan base is good old American boys. Do you know what I mean? You need to stick him over here. You know what I mean?
I know. They're probably afraid of what that will. You need to put Strickland in I don't know, a title fight, and I don't know, somewhere Sean Strickland-ish, like Nebraska.
I was going to say Nebraska.
Like Nebraska, somewhere in the Midwest.
Sean Strickland town you can think of? Nebraska, probably.
Anywhere in the South, probably.
Tennessee.
Good old country boys.
What would be
somewhere blue collar? Somewhere blue collar.
Yeah. No, but
Pittsburgh. He'd be really hot in Pittsburgh or Boston.
It'd be great to see that. It really would because he has harnessed. He says a lot of wild shit. A lot of.
Where's he from initially? California.
Yeah, he's from just down the street from me. Corona.
They don't like him there.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like much of a California boy.
He's definitely not Californian. But yeah, he's from Corona. He's literally the next city along, 10, 15 minutes away from me. But yeah, down there in Australia, Dricus du Plessis, I understand it why he's kind of annoyed. You do want to fight in your home country. Anytime I fought in England, predominantly I was always on the road fighting in America or whatever, and that was great. But when the organization is predominantly American, and you are American and proud, and you were the champion, and you're fighting for the belt, you would love to do that in your own country.
Florida, he'd be good in Florida. He'd be really good in Florida, like Jacksonville.
He'd be anywhere. He's gonna get a lot of support. He's gonna get a lot of hate. He's polarizing. He's one of those guys. But that's what you want to be. You want to be in this sport. You want to be polarizing. You want half the crowd losing the mind for you, and half the crowd spitting on you on the way out.
I don't want to be spit on.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. That's what you want. The last thing you want is the golf clap. Oh.
Yeah, you don't want people to be indifferent.
Who is he? Oh, I'm going to go for a piss break.
Well, Anthony said on paper, this guy is.
Yeah. Harrington, what have you got, bud?
Well, speaking of traveling quite a long way, Renato Moicano flew all the way out to Paris, dealt with some pretty unfavorable, circumstances from the commission out there, got himself a doctor stoppage TKO win heading out of the second round there. And for all of that, he moved exactly 0 spots in the lightweight rankings. Wanted to get you guys' take on that.
Yeah, that's insane. But I'm glad you brought that up because let's talk about Moicano. We didn't do a show after UFC Paris. I say it all the time. And the French and the English, they're kind of like, foes, if you will. The French crowd, man. The French crowd, once again. Anthony, you were there.
Yeah. They're
what
insane.
are they like?
They're insane. I'm having a tough time off the top of my head trying to think of a crowd that's as crazy and as engaged and as wild as the crowds in Paris. 3 years in a row. It's not dying off. The only crowd I can compare it to was just a moment in time that night was Salt Lake City when Leon Edwards head kicked Kamaru Usman. That was insane. That was insane.
When the first fight back in London after the pandemic, when the international travel started, I forget what it was. I forget who the main event was. Probably Tom Aspinall. I'm not sure, but whatever. That crowd was wild. And that's why I think they came back in the summer straight away because then it was like, holy shit. And that was amazing. But with France, I guess what they've got on their side is that they get one show a year. You know what I'm saying? In America, I guess they're a little bit spoiled. There's fights almost every single weekend. You know what I'm saying? So when it's new and it's fresh and it's only been legal there for a few years, it's like, whoa. And, you got French guys going in there and doing really good because they did. But nobody did as good as Renato Moicano. Benoit Saint-Denis is a tough bastard. He's technical. He's aggressive. He's a nasty bastard. Moicano beat the absolute living shit out of him in that first round.
I think that maybe we've done Benoit Saint-Denis a bit of a disservice. I think we've put him, because of his aggressive style and his fan-friendly style and how just goddamn exciting that guy is to watch, I think maybe we put him in some unfavorable situations. Because I think he's not been in this sport very long. And I think technically, I don't know that he's as sound as maybe we all maybe put on him. I think maybe we mistaken his aggressiveness and his mindset and his absolute violence that he brings. I think sometimes we mistook that for skill, and he has some holes in his game, and he's taken a lot of damage in 3 of his UFC fights: the Moicano fight, the Dustin Poirier fight, his debut. I don't remember who he fought in his debut. Off the top of my head, but he took some serious damage.
Zaleski dos Santos, I think.
Yes. So I think that guy needs to go back to the drawing board and really start shoring up some of the holes and be a little more defensively responsible, or he's not going to be around much longer.
I mean, fair play. He went out there and he won the second round. Moicano had the whatever it was. Yeah,
but even Pahumpa told me that he told me in the hotel afterwards that once his eyes were as swelled as they were, that they told Moicano, don't take any risk. Just poke at his eyes, stick some jabs. They're going to swell shut. So eventually they're not going to have a choice. So Moicano was just in cruise control.
And he was. And I think he just exerted so much energy in round 1. He's like, you can afford now. Listen, he's a beaten man predominantly.
Right. He's on his way out the door.
Take a breath, take a minute. And then if it makes it to the third, go for it again then. But I just think I hear your point. But I also think it's more to do with how good Moicano was.
For sure. I'm saying Moicano took advantage of his holes in his game.
I mean, Jesus Christ, he almost put a hole in his face. Some of those elbows from the mount, they were nasty. Yeah. And then I tell you what, the interview on the microphone.
Oh, it was incredible.
Oh, it was so good, right? So, and when he was talking shit about the French government, the French crowd were cheering their asses off.
That's a genius move too. Like if you're in somewhere where they don't like you, in a country they don't like you, you can almost always bet on talking shit about the government is going to get everybody on your side. What did you like? 100%. Don't talk shit about the people, but if you want to, because you're not going to be able to win them over with your charm. They're not, because they're going to ride with their guy no matter what. But if you start talking shit about their government, I bet you're going to get 80 to 85% of the people in there are going to go crazy for you. Doesn't matter where you're at. Because
the governments are just, they're going crazy these days, and they're just
everywhere,
shitting on everyone. Everywhere. They're just shitting on everyone. So just go after the government. But what was so funny to me, because I watched it again afterwards when I got back to my room, because obviously he's Brazilian, you know, he speaks Portuguese. So English is in his first language. And he kept going, instead of France, French. I love you, French. You know, no, that one works. But do you know what I mean? Like the slight broken English was cracking me up. And when he was going on, I felt, Macron, this guy, this, and I'm like, I was like trying not to laugh my head off. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, keep it professional. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I'm endorsing everything he's saying. If I laugh, I go, yeah, good one. Yeah, come on, Moicano.
Yeah, keep going, let's go.
I'm like, try. And then by the end, I couldn't. Because Callum said, you looked really annoyed. I said, yeah, the reason being is because I was dying to laugh my head off inside. I was like fighting hard not to just be dying. But I bet. Professional. Oh, God.
Well, and Rogan can't control it. Like all the Rogan clips. He can't keep it together when Renato's going absolutely insane.
So to Harrington's point, so what was Benoit ranked before? He was number 8. Was he?
No, he was higher I thought he was higher than that.
Harrington, you shed some light. You brought this up. No, Moicano, I think, was number 8.
I think Benoit was like 5 or 6.
Well, then that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, so what it was Benoit Saint-Denis fought very high up the ranks when he went to fight Dustin Poirier. He came into this fight against Moicano as the number 12 guy, Moicano as the number 11 guy. I think a lot of people's sticking point, though, is that there's 3 guys in the rankings above Moicano who have not gotten wins since 2022.
Yeah, but the problem is, as you just said, Benoit 12 and he was 11. You beat the guy behind you just logically, and the rankings a lot of the time they're wild.
They don't make any sense.
They don't make any goddamn sense. Where is it? Weight class. Here we go. Lightweight. It's crazy, but he just beat the number 12 guy, so that doesn't get you.
I don't know why I thought he was ranked so much higher.
The number 10 guy, by the way, is Max Holloway, who just beat the number 3 guy. He just beat Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
Who else we
Makes
got?
Sense.
Fiziev. When did Fiziev fight last?
He's been out a little bit, hasn't he?
I know he lost to Justin Gaethje. Was that his last fight? It can't be.
It can't be. Harrington?
Yeah. Come on, fact checkers, buddy. Mateusz Gamrot. It just feels like Renato should be higher there.
It does.
Fiziev's last fight, it was the loss to Gaethje, and then he fought Gamrot in September where he got injured, and he's been out since then.
Right. I mean, it just feels like Moicano should be higher than 11 for sure.
It does feel like
Max Holloway had 1 fight, now he's fighting at bloody featherweight again.
Yeah.
Max Holloway shouldn't even really be there.
No, because he just
not talking shit about Max.
Right, it's just not his weight class.
I saved Max's life. I would have talked about
You never talked shit about it.
No, the people of Hawaii owe me a great service. That's crazy. Should we do one more non-MMA, then we'll do some questions?
Yeah.
If we have any. Oh, by the way, merch alert, Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I don't know. I should have a look at the email. This will be available soon. I'll be posting it everywhere. I'll put a little link on the episode. No Man Alive. I don't even know what the website is. nomanalive_.com or something. I don't even know. But trust me, you'll know. I just thought I'd get that in there. Anything with you, Anthony? Anything personal that you want to share with us?
I don't think so. I've been working a lot. So I got all of October. I'm going on a cruise, actually, on Friday.
Oh, where are you going?
It's a Caribbean cruise on the Icon of the Sea. It's the new, biggest, largest cruise ship ever. Pretty excited about that. I'm going scuba diving in a couple spots on those stops.
Whole family?
Whole family, yeah.
Wow, see, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never been on a cruise before.
Me neither. I'll be honest, it's never appealed to me.
I'm kind of nervous.
That's what I'm saying. It scares me being out at sea, like really, really far out at sea on a boat.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. But I'll have my scuba stuff,
I'm not
so
trying
at least I'll make it.
You know, the Titanic was unsinkable.
Yeah, but no one had scuba gear. So I'll have my scuba gear.
Your oxygen tank is going to run out, bro, by the time you make it.
At some point.
To Jamaica, man, right about now. By the time you get there, bro, you're dead. You're a skeleton with a mask on. Do you know what I mean? With a spliff. and a Rasta hat on.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, but I think it's going to be a good time.
Nah. How long?
I don't know. 7 days, 6 nights?
It must
Something
be
like
nice.
that.
What a life you live. You're just going on a cruise. You forget all about it. You don't even know how long you go.
Hey, Mick, how long is our cruise?
Who the fuck's Mick?
Michaela.
Oh, right. Sorry.
How long is our cruise? How many? 7 days.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, 7 days.
Is it a luxurious boat?
Is it a luxurious boat? Yeah, it's brand new.
Of course it is. Of course. Yeah. Oh, God. I've seen them. Yeah. Brian, bring up.
It's called Icon of the Seas. You can Google that, Brian.
The Icon of the Sea. I want to see it because they got like water slides on there.
Yeah, it's got like a whole water park on it. I've seen the picture.
They got like restaurants. They got casinos, nightclubs.
There's a casino? Hell yeah. I'm getting rich.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's have a look.
Look at that.
I'm going on one. Make it bigger, Brian. Make it bigger. I want to see.
Oh, wow.
That shit.
Where's the casino?
It'll be in there somewhere. The only problem is, see, this is what I say. I mean, that looks phenomenal. Yeah, and it's amazing what man has created, right? That shit. Look at that. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-oh. She just told me there's a hurricane coming to where we have to fly into in Florida, though.
There's another hurricane on the way. The people of North Carolina are having it bad.
Yeah. Well, we got to fly into Florida.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. It might be a little bit topsy-turvy leaving the port.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Don't go on the water slide.
Rough leaving on the water.
Don't go on the water slide.
No, I'm quitting. I'm not going.
No,
I'm not going.
Stuck on a boat though for that long with the same dickheads. Do you know what I mean?
With the same.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it could be a hotel. Same thing.
It's the same. It's the exact same.
But
shit.
you can get out. You can go there to.
I'm gonna go hit the liquor store down the street.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the gas station. Nope. Stuck on this goddamn. I mean, this boat's pretty goddamn big, though. You can probably get lost on it, I'd imagine.
Brian, just look up the square footage of the boat. I bet it's 300,000. Probably bigger.
That's pretty big.
It's multiple levels.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty.
Decks.
So here's a funny story. This whole time we've had this book for over a year, and we're telling our kids about it, and we keep saying how much fun it's going to be. It would have been last Tuesday. They're getting up for school, and I'm laying in bed, and Michaela, everyone's starting to get moving, and Michaela comes in and she goes, Adley, like 7-year-old, Adley didn't know that a cruise ship was a boat. This whole time she keeps telling us how excited she is. I can't wait to go on the cruise. So here I have to come into my office and everyone else is getting ready for school. We're sitting here reading about what cruise ships are and showing her YouTube videos. She was so for the last week she's been absolutely pumped because we're going on a boat. She had no idea it was a boat.
Kids are awesome.
1,000. What is that?
Yeah. 1,000. Not.
Yeah, that number threw me off.
11. Yeah. 1,000. 1 million. 1,009. What is that number?
I copy and pasted. This is the internet fucking that up.
It's 1,900. It's
11,967 feet long.
Okay, 11,967 feet.
It weighs 248 tons. We sound like the dumbest people ever there. It's just with the way it's written there, guys.
Yeah, it's written weird.
See it. It's
7,600 passengers and 2,300 crew on 20 decks.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Wait, what islands are you going to?
I don't know all of them. I know that we're stopping in Cozumel, and that's where I'm scuba diving in Cozumel, and then everyone else is going on another excursion, and then in Honduras, stopping there. I'm going to dive there too, and then there's one other stop, and I don't know what we're doing there. There was this thing. where we were going to swim with pigs, like wild, like
I've seen that, yeah.
But then, like, if you really read into it, apparently it's like disgusting because they're just like, you're essentially just swimming with them in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, no, I've seen some videos of that, and they're really cute, like little pigs, with the pig trotters going along, shitting as they go along.
I'm not doing that.
It's like you don't get in a swimming pool because people are pissing in that pool. If you're swimming with pigs, they're shitting in that water.
They're shitting in that. No,
100%. Yeah. Were your kids? So you say your kids were excited, even though they didn't know it was a cruise.
Yeah, there's
my kids, they're too cool. They're like the mother. They never get excited about anything. Guys, I've just booked us a holiday to Maui.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Callum didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. I'm like, what is going through your mind right now? What do you mean?
Made life too good, Mike. You got to punish them sometimes for no reason.
Don't want to go. And like at Christmas, we're going back to England to see my mother and my father because they're getting on.
Right.
Callum's like, do we have to go again? I'm like, bro, suck it up. Go to fucking England. I'm going to go see your grandparents, okay? So shut the fuck up. How about you be grateful?
Yeah, for your free trip.
Yeah. Anyway, we've rabbited on for long enough. Well done to Alex Pereira. Unbelievable stuff. And all the men and women that won on Saturday night. Congrats to you all. If you've got a question, send it in to bympod@gmail.com. As you know, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Like that video as well. Give it a little like and keep an eye out on the No Man Alive store as well. Brian, I never asked. Normally I ask at the top of the show. Do we have any show-worthy questions?
We have a couple good questions today.
Okay.
First one is from Toby from BYM Laughs.
So you guys might have already touched on this topic, but something I noticed regarding the doctor stoppage at the end of the main event. Obviously, Benoit is beat up, and I'm not arguing that it shouldn't have been stopped. But the way that the doctor went about it, he first sees if he can, see the numbers of fingers he's holding up, and he can. Then he covers his better eye. The other eye is completely, he can't see out of that eye, right? And then the fight ends. Using that same logic, though, wouldn't fighters like you, Michael Bisping, and I know your case was a little different because you literally hid this from the commission, but current fighters like Shara Bullet, he only has one good eye. Everyone knows that. So wouldn't the doctor be able to walk into the octagon before the fight even starts, cover his one good eye, be like, oh, well, I guess you can't see, fight's off, right? Is there a rule that a fighter has to be able to see with both eyes? Love to hear your guys' opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the quick and easy answer is that I think, and I could be wrong here, but Shara Bullet is only fighting out there in the Middle East where there's no commissions.
And there's a reason for that.
Yes, you have to be able to see out of both eyes to 2200 capability. And 2200 is still technically blind. So you don't
have to see that well.
You don't have to see that well, but you got to see 2200 vision. And if you can't see the fingers in front of you, then guess what? You ain't getting past. But I tell you what, that did give me some PTSD. Seeing that, I was like, oh God.
I don't like
that's all they had to do.
You start sweating. You're like, shit.
Remember,
I think we talked about Shara Bullet one time before too, and said I think that's what. I think we talked about the reason he only fights in the Middle East is because he can't get licensed anywhere else.
Yeah, because it's all, for anyone that doesn't know, and I think most do, it's all in the athletic commissions. The athletic commissions, they sanction the sport. They lay down, what they, not the rules of the fight, but what their specific requirements are.
Yeah. Like some commissions, make you do MRIs yearly. Some make you do brain scans yearly. Some don't. It's, so sometimes it's every 5, sometimes every 3. Sometimes they're all a little bit different.
The commissions are a pain in the ass, though.
It is. It's a big pain.
I hate them because they don't really exist in England. You don't have. No, you don't have athletic commissions. They don't even have real doctors. We call it St. John's Ambulance. It's a bunch of volunteers at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? You got St. John's Ambulance. Other than that, you rock up with your mouthpiece off your pop. Let's go.
Figure it out.
Let's have it. Do you know what I mean? I came out to America. They're like the police. Do you know what I mean? Like
they are
grabbing hold of me, checking my bag. You can't drink that. Can't do this. Too many people in your locker room. I'm like, whoa. Relax, buddy. Anyway, so there you go. Brian, anything else?
All right, we got another question here from Maximiliano, who's doing a little bit of matchmaking and wants to get your guys' opinion on it.
Hey, what's up, BYM Pod? It's your boy Maximiliano Martinez from Chicago, Illinois. So, after UFC 307, I got to thinking, because people are already talking about who else is out there at light heavyweight besides Ankalaev. So, I feel like if Ankalaev has not a good performance, I don't think the UFC gives him a title shot. I think they give the winner of Volkan Ozdemir, Carlos Ulberg, because I think they're trying to hopefully get Carlos Ulberg up there to the title. Man, dude, I think that would be a crazy fight, especially with seeing some of the little wrinkles that Khalil Rountree was able to capitalize on. Carlos Ulberg, 6'4", he's like 6'5". I think I'm pretty sure he has the reach advantage over Pereira. I think that would be a crazier fight than him versus Ankalaev. What do you think?
I tell you what, that guy speaks some sense, because the last time we saw Magomed Ankalaev in a title fight was one of the worst title fights we've ever seen, right? Everyone was booing in the arena. It ended in a draw. It is what it is, right? Styles make fights and yada, 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 right? But that's kind of why also. It's not because we were protecting him. It's because it was pretty shit the first time. Let's just call a spade a spade. We'll call it what it is. It wasn't a great, exciting fight. So, but if he goes out and has
I agree. No, I'm trying to think of how to say
disagree.
This without sounding like an asshole. Oh, I'm definitely disagreeing, but I'm trying to figure out how to disagree without shitting on the fighters.
Oh, shit on me though.
I think it's irresponsible at this point in Carlos Ulberg's career to put him in there with Alex Pereira, even if he wins.
Well, that's where I was going to go. I wasn't going to go there.
It's not safe. It's not safe. I don't think he's capable of protecting himself enough.
Yeah,
because he's still fairly green. I think he needs 3-4 more really good fights, not necessarily just the wins, but I think he needs the experience.
So that would be the smart thing to do, to not fast track him to it.
To not fast
Ulberg's very good. I think
Pereira will hurt him.
He's very exciting.
Stylistically, he's the next most capable guy of defending himself. If he can but if Alexander Rakic looks good and beats Ankalaev, you might roll Rakic right in there, and I think that's a great matchup.
Oh yeah, Rakic he's a nasty bastard.
He's pretty nasty on his feet, and honestly, I don't even count it when anybody loses to Yuri, because he's so goddamn hard to fight. Like if you fight that guy 10 times, like you might go 50-50. It doesn't matter if you're 1,000 times better than him. He's just so difficult. He's so difficult. He's so tough. He has such a unique style, and it's so different, and he's so hard to fight that you can't really. I don't think that you can say, okay, well, he didn't beat Yuri Prohaska. He's not good enough to win the title. I don't think Yuri's he's an anomaly. He's different. And so I don't hold that against people too badly, because Yuri's just so good and difficult to fight. But I think if Alexander Rakic looks good versus Ankalaev, I think you could absolutely put him into a title fight with Pereira.
And I completely agree with that. And in all your points as well about Yuri as well. And I can't wait to see him fight again. But to the question, if Ankalaev goes out there and it is just like, oh God, and the crowd are kind of restless,
stinks it up, they're not going to do it.
If he stinks it up, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay, there's meritocracy. But if it's like just an awful fight, it kind of sets the tone for what the next thing would be. And, if there is a Carlos Ulberg.
Volkan Ozdemir's knocking on that door too.
Volkan Ozdemir. People forget about Volkan Ozdemir, man.
They do. And he's doing really well right now. He's doing really well right now.
What kind of streak is he on? I can't remember. I'm commentating in Macau.
Four. I think he's won 4 in a row.
Four. Yeah, I mean, and he got a title fight really quick. I mean, you talk about, for example, Carlos Ulberg maybe getting rushed along. I mean, look at that
he got rushed along for sure with DC.
He won 3 fights, knocked out 3 people really quick. Next minute, he's fighting Daniel Cormier. Tough matchup for anyone.
And then after that, he ran into just this absolute killer right off of his title shot, and so that's just a really good looking guy.
Who was that?
He's a really good looking guy. Really good looking.
Who? Oh yeah.
It was me.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Dan Goose.
He was so goddamn. He was so tough though. It was the toughest fight I've ever been in for sure. He
is. And you know what? He's a nice guy as well.
He is. I seen him in Paris. You see him in Paris?
Yeah.
You talked to him at all? Yeah, such a nice guy.
Lovely guy. And you're a lovely guy. And you are lovely people. Thanks for supporting the show. I'll be back on Thursday, so don't miss it. And no man alive should not buy a bloody t-shirt. Right. See ya.